wanted to share with you in this video exactly how you can astral travel. Now, there's a lot of videos out there right now of people talking about how to astral travel, and to be honest, I'd seen them before and it didn't work for me. So I'm making this video because if you're here with me, maybe you'll resonate, and maybe the way I explain it will help you just push it that much further and to be able to do it for the first time. This is mind-blowingly cool. I mean, this is a whole new sense of freedom that I have and a whole new avenue for excitement where I can legit just like roll out of my body and go wander around and explore reality. But it's not a dream because you can legit walk around and see things that are happening and then come back to your body and then talk to these people that you saw them doing something and they actually were doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll explain that. Sorry for being gross. Runny nose. I'm in Sedona, Arizona right now. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do because I'm pretty excited to share this with you. I think this is gonna be super valuable, especially if you feel resonance with the intro, with the energy, just connecting with me right now. If you feel this kind of like almost gravity pulling you into the video where I have captivated your attention, rather the video has, this is a really, really good sign that this video is going to help you to astral travel tonight. You feel that? You feel that vibration in your body. Dude, I'm telling you, you're about to astral travel and it's freaking so cool. So what I want to do first is share my experience with you, and then I'm going to explain an exact method that I've broken down to help you to do the exact same thing. So firstly, my experience. It was a total accident. So I'm actually living with my partner right now. Her name's Ruby, and we live in a van together. We're doing van life. And the thing is that we live in like this, it's a small space. So at nighttime when we sleep, we have to be touching all of the time. And sometimes she's moving around a lot or gets me in kind of an uncomfortable cuddle position and I can't sleep. Now, what happened is I was so exhausted because the previous night I hadn't slept very much. So my body completely exhausted, but I was also experiencing anxiety, which is going to be key in how I describe to you to do this later. So remember that and keep in touch with that point. My mind was racing, my body was exhausted, and Ruby and I were literally completely intertwined in each other's bodies while she was sleeping. Now, I felt extremely uncomfortable. But I didn't want to move and wake her up, essentially, right? So I just laid there. Now, this is exactly what happened next. My body felt completely paralyzed. I was still aware and awake in my mind, but my body was paralyzed. I could not move. It was a very strange sensation. Suddenly, I went to sit up in a certain kind of way, like a rocking motion, right? Like I was rocking back and forth to sit up, and I sat up. However, I sat up out of my body because my body was still legit laying in bed, intertwined with Ruby's body. I could see that we were in my van, and I had this very free feeling. I felt so much lighter. I felt like who I was and the experience I was having is very genuine and very normal. Like I'm always in this state, right? But it was like I had just shed my body. The physical weight of it that keeps me grounded to the earthly realms is literally what it was. So all of a sudden, I just, boom, just like with the snap of my fingers, portaled to my parents' house where I grew up.
Oh my gosh.
Now here's the funny thing. I walked around through my parents' house and I saw on the time that it was like exactly the same time that is when I started astral traveling in my reality. So what I'm trying to say is that walking through my parents' house, the whole scene, people in bed, sleeping, everybody doing what they're normally doing at like 4 a.m., right? Everything was perfectly aligned to reflect that this was actual reality, right? This is actual reality. I was in the astral realm. Now I went outside, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If anybody's ever had a lucid dream or like a dream that all of a sudden turns sexy for some reason, I'm not gonna leave that part out because I just wanna give you my honest experience. It just all of a sudden, I just felt kind of sexual energy charged. So I was gonna, I was gonna go fly around the astral realm and try to find something sexy to do, okay? We'll leave it at that. But instead, I all of a sudden got this feeling, and I realized that this is a profound state that I'm in. That would be a ridiculous way to spend it. So instead, I stepped outside of my parents' house, up the door, like out the door, right? And I jumped in the air, and I just started rocketing. And what instantly happened was all these dimensions started splitting and breaking apart. Like I was legit just rocketing even out of my astral body. And I don't know where I was going, but it was a feeling, it was colors, it was seeing, it was sensations that are just so far beyond some of the bliss experiences that I've had. But it was so intense and I was still connected to my conscious awareness and the way that I think, which is very interesting. This whole entire experience, I could feel my body laying in bed, and yet my consciousness and awareness was out moving around somewhere else. So I was in tune with what I was thinking about, right? Now I just all of a sudden had this feeling. I was afraid. I could feel Ruby in my arms, in my physical form. And I was afraid that I would never see her again, because these dimensions I was rocketing through in my astral form, it was so intense, and I just got this feeling. And I just had this sense of knowing within myself, and it was like a choice, right? I had a choice, and it was just like a video game where it's like push A or push B for this to happen. Push A, wake up next to Ruby again. Push B, disappear into God knows what it was. And I felt like I was just gonna get lost, you know what I mean? And I started to feel afraid. I felt really scared. So I chose to go back to Ruby because I didn't want to lose her, you know? I didn't want to disappear and never be able to be Nathan again, because it felt like I was dying. It was extremely intense. It felt like I was dying and being rocketed into I don't know. Even I can't explain it, and I like to think I'm good at explaining things, so I can't with this one. So that's pretty much, whoa, sorry about that. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. So anyways, I felt this intense fear like I was dying, and I rocketed back to my body. Now here's the interesting thing. What ended up happening was the exact moment I chose in my awareness to come back, Ruby actually moved and elbowed me in my side, and it jolted me out of this experience at the exact moment I chose for it to stop happening, which is very interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's like, as that universal oneness, and that I literally am everybody else around me with my higher awareness, basically, choosing to come back, manifested as Ruby elbowing me and jolting me out of the experience. Very cool. Very cool. Now what ended up happening was I began to practice this more and more, and I've had a few more experiences that I might share with you here towards the end, but what I want to do next is explain to you how to do this. So I've tested this, and I've managed to do it 4 times now with the exact same method. So when it comes to astral travel, a lot of people say, this is the first thing that I want to put in, not as a warning, but as a preface. A lot of people say, don't do it. It's dangerous. Like in my experience, you will lose your body. You won't be able to get back in. Demons will come and possess your body, right? A lot of people say stuff like this. Is this true? Perhaps. But in my personal opinion and personal experience, this is not the case, because who you really are is everything and everyone. You are all of the so-called demons. You are all of the angels. You're all the aliens. You're all the people you're interacting with in your waking life. You're legit everyone, okay? So nothing bad is gonna happen to you. There's no such thing as a bad experience anyways. This is just us judging and trying to understand everything. Everything is you, and you are happening for yourself. So to be perfectly honest, my opinion is you don't need to be afraid. If something's exciting to you, explore. Nothing bad could possibly happen to you. You are so safe and protected, you know, and you're unconditionally supported. Now, if you want to choose with that unconditionally supported energy to have fearful, scary experiences, you can, because that's how unconditionally supported you are. But my opinion is that I chose to come back to my body out of fear. I chose fear. And it blasted me out of this incredible magical experience where I was about to break into some badass dimensions I had never experienced before. But I chose fear. I chose to be afraid and think that something bad might happen. And so that was my experience. You see what I'm saying? So that's just something I wanted to preface this with. I'd love to hear from you guys what you think. Is it dangerous to astral travel? Or is that really just in the eye of the beholder? Are we really the kind of creators of our perspective of that? You know what I mean? I'd love to talk to you guys about this. So, preface done, preface out of the way, let's bust into this. Number one, the first thing that I think is the most important that has enabled me to get into this experience every single time is to be uncomfortable. Right? Don't lay in a position that you're gonna fall asleep. Don't sit in a position that's super relaxing that you're gonna fall asleep or something like this, because I had this happen a few times. All the times that I astral traveled, there was one thing that was exactly the same each time. I was uncomfortable and could not actually fully fall asleep, right? So get yourself in a position, I know this is weird, never heard anybody else explain it. That's partially why I'm making this video, because I think it might actually help some people out there, perhaps, I don't know. Whoop whoop! That's a whoop whoop, or perhaps it might help. Whoop whoop! Be uncomfortable. Put yourself in a position that is just a little bit agitating. Maybe like crook your neck a little bit to the point where you'd have to move to be able to fall asleep. But then choose not to move. Lay there in that uncomfortable position. Now the exact same thing happens to me every time. Some time might go by, it might be an hour, it might be 5 minutes, you know, it just depends on you and how exhausted you are for that day. In that uncomfortable position, your body will eventually enter this kind of state where you are kind of mentally saying, no, I'm not gonna move. And eventually your body will almost feel kind of paralyzed. A lot of people call this sleep paralysis. So in that state where you feel that paralysis, this is the magical moment, guys, okay? Because what'll be happening is your awareness, your kind of not thoughts from your human ego suit, but a different kind of awareness and thinking kind of process that takes place. It's hard to explain. You'll feel it still happening because you have to consciously be aware to tell yourself not to move. And yet your body will go to sleep, leaving a certain part of your awareness awake in this realm, right? This is the best way I could explain it. Now, next, what you're gonna wanna do is allow yourself to start daydreaming, but don't fall asleep. That uncomfortable position you're in, if you're like me, will keep you awake in the important way that I'm talking about. Allow yourself to start daydreaming, but not about, whoa. It happened again. What you're gonna wanna do is start daydreaming, but not about fantasies, just about the room that you're in, the area you're in. Allow your awareness to inspect the room that you're in, right? Use your memory. You're laying there with your eyes closed, yes, but use your memory. Start evaluating the space around you, you know? Start imagining yourself walking around in your room that you're sleeping in as if you're awake. And then it's very, very simple. As soon as these visions start to become very realistic and you start to really feel it as if you are walking around, feel your uncomfortable body and rock, okay? Just rock, like sit up. Rock back and forth like you're on your back rocking. It's the exact same sensation. Feel that feeling, just do it, and your mind's about to freaking be blown. I'm telling you right now, it's so simple. It's so easy. This has been working for me every single time that I've tried it now. My camera's so funny. And I really want you guys to try this because it's totally sick. It's totally sick, right? Because all this space that we have to explore is so amazing. We've got so much incredible adventure here in the physical realm of things. But the thing is that the physical realm has other dimensions to it as well. Right? I've noticed a lot of people like to explain dimensions and things as in, this is here, this is here, this is here, and it's all separate. They're all different places. It's not the case. All of the dimensions are right here, right now, all taking place in the exact same energy. It's all the dimensions together that are enabling you to have the experience that you are. Yes, the third dimension is reaching out and touching things, but you don't exist in the third dimension. You exist in all of the dimensions, all of the time simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? Astral traveling being able to practice this and get into this. And I'd love to hear from you. If you try this and it works, let me know below. It's so cool because you can start exploring these other layers of the current experience that we already have. It's not about going somewhere else. It's about being here in a new way. A way that's not new because you're always here in that way, but like it just feels freaking sick. Oh man, I love how I keep saying that. Freaking sick. So this is something really cool I just really wanted to share with you guys. Let's see. If you're like me, you likely experience a lot of reality taking place in your imagination. Now, some people in society are very good at making us feel bad for that. But let's just be honest, you know? We are accessing the ether, the infinite complexity and creativity of our universe. And if you want to tap into how to bring what's into your imagination into real physical experience, definitely subscribe below, definitely stay tuned, because I got this next video coming out that's all about exactly how to bring those things from your imagination into reality. I'm very excited about this video. So you guys who are my friends here that have been watching, you probably noticed I got a new intro and stuff. Lots of fun things happening. There's a great energy wave right now taking place in our lives, guys. I recommend you grab your surfboard and you surf it, because that is the momentum right now. When you feel it, stand up and surf and let it take you. That's life, you know? Sometimes it's time to rest, sometimes it's time to surf. If you want to know more about that energy I'm talking about, I recommend clicking this video right here, which I just made, talking all about this new energy and how to feel into never-ending happiness that lasts forever. It's a great watch. Recommend you watch it. Don't forget to subscribe. Manifestation video coming out soon. All right. Oh!